Assistant. So I would like to introduce our tutor for today, Mrs. Rose. I'm pretty sure a number of you would have heard about her, but if you've not, this is a platform for you to get to know her well and what she's all about. Let me put it that way. So she's here to guide us through the sessions, bringing our expertise and insider tips to help you succeed in your virtual assistance journey. She's been a very, very instrumental product in helping tons of people launch and grow their own VA businesses. So yes, then let me give you guys a little heads up. At the end of this 3-day boot camp, we have a special virtual assistant membership program that is packed with everything you need to know. I mean, this is a 3-day program, right? So we have a member that is packed with everything you need to know in total, in depth. So I'm not gonna like bore you guys with the details now, but I promise to share more about it towards the end of our boot camp.
Everybody.
Good evening, Ma. Good evening.
Okay, sorry, I had a little issue with my internet, and I hope everything is fixed now. So I'm going to be sharing my screen a lot today, and I just wanted to turn on my camera so that everybody can see who is going to be talking to them, and maybe people that are going to watch the replay, if there's going to be a replay, would also see that. Okay, so today is like an introductory class, and as you already know, we're going to be together for the next 3 days. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's during the weekend so that everybody can make time to participate and to join. So today is kind of like an introduction to virtual assistants, and anything I say that you don't understand or you need a little more clarity, or maybe you have learned something in the past or you've heard about something in the past and what I say does not really agree with what you have heard, or you just need more information, you can ask. At the end of this, we are going to leave some time for. So that said, I want to start sharing my screen, and please let me know. Sorry. Can anybody see my screen?
Yes, you can.
No.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, no. No.
No,
No,
I'm
we
not
can't see your screen.
No, we can't see your
Okay.
screen.
No, ma, we can't see your screen.
Okay. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the introduction to virtual assistants, like I said, and then we're going to talk about how to decide on your niche. That's the area of specialty that you are going to be working in as a virtual assistant. So this training is special. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the introduction to virtual assistants, like I said, and then we're going to talk about how to decide on your niche. That's the area of specialty that you are going to be working in as a virtual assistant. So this training is special, or is going to be very helpful to. Okay. It's going to be very helpful to people that want a better life for themselves. They want the flexibility that comes with working for themselves, working from any location at any time, and people that want more income. So some virtual assistants do not do it full time. So they do it work with my phone. So it's not something that requires you to be on your laptop every single time. You can actually work from your phone. So whether you're someone that already has a 9-to-5 job, you are a stay-at-home parent, or you are just somebody that, let's say you just finished school, maybe you're doing your NYC, or you are still a student, or you just graduated and you're waiting for NYC, or you just finished NYC, you can become a virtual assistant, including people that are preparing to retire or have already retired. So there's no age limit to becoming a virtual assistant. You just need to know what you are doing, and you are going to get the success that you want if you put in the work. So virtual assistant is a booming industry right now, especially since the pandemic. Since the pandemic, there are more virtual assistants than before the pandemic, because it was like the pandemic just opened the loophole, or opened a space, or opened the eyes of a lot of people and companies that they needed virtual assistants, or they needed people that could work remotely. So most of the things that maybe you do in your 9-to-5 job can be done remotely. So virtual assistants are those people, or is a kind of industry that allows you that flexibility for both you and your employer, or the person you are going to, the clients you are going to be working with. So you can benefit from it, and they will also benefit from it, because they will not have to bother about getting you the tools that you need, or getting a larger space for employees, and all the overhead costs that come with getting people to come in every day to work with a business. So, like I said, whether you are tired of the traditional 9-to-5 grind, or you're stay-at-home parents, or you just want to generate more income, you can become a virtual assistant. You don't need a lot of a lot more information, because some people feel like they don't have the skills, they don't have the experience. And at the end of this training, you're going to see that some of the experiences that you've had as a student, or in your job, or in your business at one point in time, even when you volunteered, or even from your church, you realize that you already have some skills that you need to succeed as a virtual assistant. And maybe you just need a little training here and there to maybe you just need a little training here and there to just bring you up to speed. Okay, so the simple goal that we have for this training is that you're going to get the insights, you're going to learn all the insights you need, the tools, the strategies that you need to transform into a high-performing virtual assistant that is ready to excel into this digital economy. So by the end of 3 days, you have the confidence that you need to take on clients, define your niche, and start earning. So if you are ready to even go further, after this training, we are going to be there to hold your hand, to guide you on the full journey beyond this masterclass. So I just want you to give this your best shot. It's not something that you should listen on the without paying real attention. Just everybody knows how these meetings, online meetings, work sometimes. So you join the meeting, but you are not really, your full attention is not really there. So you have to pay full attention, so that you have questions to ask at the end of this, and you benefit from spending time here. Because whether you like it or not, the world is moving, and the world is not going to stop for you to you don't like the way virtual assistants work, or you don't like the kind of tools that virtual assistants work with, or the flexibility that it brings. It can be anything, but at least you are going to know that you gave it your best shot, and you knew that you know that it is not for you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about first about who a virtual assistant is. We're going to talk about the skills that you are going to need to succeed as a virtual assistant. Then we're going to talk about your niche, finding your niche, identifying your niche, how you can niche down as a virtual assistant. And then we're going to understand the market demand for virtual assistants, so that you will know, okay, this niche or this specialty, this area of specialty, a virtual assistant and virtual assistant women transition into the virtual assistant space. I have a background in medical laboratory science. That is what I have my degree in, but I have pivoted, and now I work fully as a virtual assistant. So initially I was doing it on the side, and after some time, and especially when I started having kids, I had to transition into working as a virtual assistant full time because I didn't have support with childcare, and also because virtual assistance was paying me much, much more than what I would be earning as a medical laboratory scientist. So through my platform, I offer trainings, resources, and mentorship for aspiring VAs and new VAs. So as much as possible, this is your opportunity. Okay, so as I was saying, this is your opportunity to pick my brain. If you have any questions about anything virtual assistance, just let me know at the end of this. You can write down your questions so that you will not forget them before the end of this. The first question is, who is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant, also known as a VA. So anywhere you see VA, just know that I'm talking about a virtual assistant. So a virtual assistant is a professional who provides various services remotely to business owners, entrepreneurs, companies, regular everyday people. I just have to add that because virtual assistants don't only work with entrepreneurs or business owners. Someone that just has a family and just a regular life, maybe a 9-to-5 job, might also need the services of a virtual assistant. As long as the person needs support with managing their schedule or shopping online and stuff like that, then a virtual assistant can be of help. So as a VA, your responsibilities may range from administrative tasks, tech tasks, to even more specialized services such as social media management, customer service, or even content creation. So I need to add that a virtual assistant is an independent contractor. So that means as a virtual assistant, you are not an employee. That a virtual assistant is an independent contractor. So what that means is that you are responsible for your business. You are not an employee. So I mentioned that a brand like MTN or Coca-Cola or any kind of brand that you know can have an in-house social media manager. So this person, it might even be a remote job, it might be hybrid, it might be on-site, does not matter. They might have a social media manager that is their payroll as an employee. So, and having an employee that's a social media manager is different from a social media virtual assistant, for example. So any person that is a social media manager that works for themselves, that is not like an employee for any company, can work with up to 5 clients, 2 clients, or 10 clients for themselves. That person is a social media virtual assistant. It's different from being a social media manager for a particular business. So that in that case, that person is an employee and not a virtual assistant. So even if somebody is working remotely, your job allows you to work from home, it does not automatically mean that that person is a virtual assistant. The person can just be a remote employee. There is a difference. If you do not understand what I have said, at the end, there's going to be time for questions and answers, and you can ask me your questions, and I'll be happy to explain again. So now, virtual assistants can handle a wide variety of tasks. There are over 100 services that virtual assistants can offer clients. So scheduling appointments, managing emails, data entry, social media management, customer service, content creation, and content repurposing. Virtual assistants can help us with blogging, can help us with copywriting, and a lot of things. It just depends on what your niche is. As a virtual assistant now, I do not even offer most of the services listed here. I offer email marketing, especially. I offer website design. So I design landing pages, I design websites for my clients. I do search engine optimization for them. I write blog posts for them. And I'm also a virtual assistant, but I'm more into tech and digital marketing. That's my own niche. While someone else might decide to focus on social media, another person might go into admin stuff like calendar management, email management, data entry, etc. So it depends on what appeals to you, what you are passionate about, what is in demand. And we're going to talk about that in more detail as we go into the lesson today. So virtual assistants provide flexible on-demand services, allowing businesses or people or allowing their clients to operate more efficiently without the overhead cost of in-house employees. So if somebody is hiring an in-house employee, they have to get the person an office space. So the size of the office that they'll have will be much larger than they will normally have if they had just remote workers or independent contractors working with them. So they'll also need to make sure that they have Wi-Fi in the office, they have power supply. So if they'll have to get, especially if it's a Nigerian brand, they'll have to fuel their generator, and the soaring prices of petrol is nobody's friend. They also have to provide the employee with things like the computer they are going to be using at work and all those things. But for a virtual assistant, the client only gives you the task. They don't care whether you have a laptop or not. It is your responsibility because you are you are an independent business owner to get it yourself. So they are not going to get petrol for you. You have to factor it into your pricing so that when you charge your clients, you'll be able to settle your petrol price, your data, the money you're going to spend on data, the money you're going to spend on anything you're going to need within your business. So your pricing has to cover all this as a virtual assistant. Meanwhile, an in-house employee does not really care about that. They just have a fixed salary that they are going to earn at the end of the month. So now the skills that are required for virtual assistants, and these skills are very, very important. Communication, you have to know how to communicate orally and in writing. Very, very important. You must not know how to speak the best English, or you must not know how to write the best English. I still have typos in my writing up till today, but it is just part of being human. But as much as possible, you want to try and make your writing clear. You have to communicate clearly. And there's something I always do, I encourage the virtual assistants that I mentor to do, is that you have to leave a paper trail. Leaving a paper trail means that if a client has told you, I need you to do XYZ, you have to repeat that information back to them to ensure that you don't understand something different. For instance, if a client should call me and in the call or on the call, let's say the call was not recorded, and the client says, I need you to do X, Y, Z. This is my priority for now. So do the thing that was supposed to be the last thing, do it first now, and then do the next thing second, just like that. I will send an email or a message somewhere. It just has to be written somewhere so that it can be brought back to say, look at what you said. This is what you told me, and I acted based on the instructions that you gave. So I'll write it back and say, as per our discussion, this is what you said. This is what you said you need, and this is what I'm going to work on. Because there are sometimes, and I've experienced it in the past, where a client will tell you, this is what I need you to do every month. And then they will now come with something urgent or something that you need to do immediately, something that is more important to them. But when you are able to say, okay, are you sure that this is what you need? Sometimes the client will say, okay, this is not very important. This can be moved to later. So you have to be able to communicate in writing, in speaking. Like when you are on a call with your clients, you should be able to articulate the information you want to give to them. You should be able to speak clearly, communicate clearly. If you don't understand anything, you should be able to confidently ask for the clients to repeat what they have said. You're going to be working with people from different parts of the world. Accents are going to be people are going to have accents, and you're to other people, you also have an accent. I have an accent, and something that it makes me Nigerian. It's not something that you can just take away. And clients are not expecting you to phonerize or to speak like them. You can speak like yourself confidently, and they will understand what you are saying. So you also need to know how to manage your time. As you succeed as a virtual assistant, or eventually, when you succeed as a virtual assistant, you are going to be working with many clients at the same time. So you can be working on a particular project for client A, then clients B and client C, all that. You have to make sure that you're able to manage your time among all clients. How a client does not feel left out, or they don't feel like their project has been put on the back burner. You have to make sure that you distribute your time very well, and you also leave time to work in your own business. So let's say you get a client, you are not supposed to just forget about marketing your own business, trying to make sure that your business is in order. If, for instance, you are supposed to be posting on social media because you now have a client that you are working with, you forget about your social media or anything you're supposed to be doing to tell people that my business still exists. You focus on that client's job. Now, if that client, for any reason, the project comes to an end, and the client wants to terminate the project for any reason, you are going to be left high and dry because you have forgotten about your business. So you have to manage your time among your business, your client's business, and even your personal life, because your life is not going to stop just because you got a job as a virtual assistant. You need to know how to organize things as much as possible. When the client gives you information, or you're working on a project with other people, or even if it's just you and the client, you have to make sure that you can communicate, you can manage your time, and you're organizing the information you are getting, the documents you receive from the client, the information you receive from the client. Knowing how to organize is very important, and you have to be tech savvy. It does not mean you need to know how to write code. Like I said, I build websites, e-commerce websites, learning management systems, membership websites, any kind of websites. I build those websites, and I don't know how to write a single line of code. So being tech savvy does not equal knowing how to code. So as much as possible, you want to know how to use the basic tools, the tools that you are going to need as a virtual assistant, tools of the trade. You have to know them. And if there's a tool or there's a new tool, new tools come up every single day. When I started, most of the tools that I use now in my business, I didn't even know they exist. Some of them, they had not even produced them at the time. So you should be teachable. You should be able to adapt immediately. Okay, this is the tool that is in demand now. You need to know how to do X, Y, Z. You should be able to go there and learn it. Don't be afraid of tech, because you are online. It is digital. It is completely online. So most of the things that you'll be doing online are things that people used to traditionally do in offices. So you'll be doing all those things online. So you have to be able to adapt to the trends. The digital space is it moves very fast. So as much as possible, you want to be tech savvy. You want to be able to pick up new tools fast, and adapt as you go. Then now, who can be a virtual assistant? So like I mentioned earlier, even if you are a student, you have a 9 to 5 job, you are retired, you are a fresh graduate, you are an online business owner, and of course, you want to do things by yourself. You don't have the budget to hire somebody or to outsource. You have a smartphone, a laptop, or both. Of course, it has to be a smartphone. There are some services that you can offer as a virtual assistant using only your smartphone, but there are others that you necessarily or compulsorily need a laptop or a computer. So all these people can become virtual assistants, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad, you are planning to relocate for work or for school, you can successfully become a virtual assistant, especially people that are planning to relocate. Because when you relocate, initially, you might not get jobs. You might not get like on-site jobs immediately you relocate. And if you are a student, you will have like limited time that you need to work. You cannot work, I think, for more than 20 hours a week. But if you have your own online business, you have your own virtual assistance business, you can still be making money, active income and passive income. I think maybe later in this training, or either day 2 or day 3, we are going to talk about ways that you can leverage your virtual assistant skills. And one of those ways is making passive income as a virtual assistant. So I'm going to talk about that. And so that you see that if you're a student or you're a 9 to 5 or you are planning to relocate and all that, you can still make money in your sleep with the skills that you have as a virtual assistant. Then I want to talk about how to identify your strengths and your interests. Because if even if I've said I am more of a tech VA, I build websites and stuff, it's not going to interest a lot of people, like building websites. Some other people might just prefer admin stuff because their background is there. That's what they're interested in. So now that's why it's important that you write down the strengths that you have, things that you are interested in or that you're passionate about. So now, the another reason why niching down um is important is because it helps you, for lack of a better word, it helps you position yourself better. So this analogy you can see on your screen now, there's one person that is saying, okay, I can do everything, social media, bookkeeping, customer service, content writing, anything you need, I'm the person for you. I can do it for you. And then someone else that is more focused, that's telling you, I specialize in social media management for businesses like yours. I have done this. So they are not just sharing what they can do, they are telling you what they have done, the kind of results that they were able to bring in the time frame that they were able to bring those results. So it's going to make more sense to hire someone a that has the skills that you need in a particular area or in a particular field. And that's why if you have written your CV for any kind of job, they'll tell you tailor your CV to that job description or to that particular job that you are going for. You cannot have a CV that you use to apply for every job on the planet. You have to be specific. It's the same with your portfolio. Even if you have done data entry, you have built websites, you have done ads for someone, you cannot put all those things into one portfolio and expect to get hired. You have to be known for something. That's how you build authority. So it makes more sense to hire someone um, that is known for something, that is an authority in one thing, because this other person is just everywhere. While this other person can give you more measurable results, focused results. And then that brings me to the next thing, which is niche. A niche. So a niche is a specific area of expertise that you focus on as a virtual assistant. So this could be social media, it could be email management, it could be email marketing, it could be bookkeeping or whatever. So that can be your niche. Now, there are, there's like a broad niche and there's like a narrow niche. So for instance, a broad niche can be admin virtual assistant. So you're going, as an admin virtual assistant, you're going to be doing things like email management, calendar management, data entry, etc. While if you are or you can decide to do only email management as a virtual assistant. But I'll recommend that you go for the broader niche, so admin virtual assistant or tech virtual assistant or social media virtual assistant, because it is broader and most companies or people that are looking for virtual assistants are not looking for someone with just let's say email inbox management or email management. These things come hand in hand or work hand in hand. So and most times the tools that you use to do inbox management are the same tools that they really integrate with the tools that you're going to be using for calendar management. They just work hand in hand. So those services are grouped as one. And then there are other less known niches like real estate virtual assistant or medical virtual assistant. So real estate virtual assistants will be working with real estate agents. What do real estate agents need? Maybe they'll help them with lead generation or with their CRM and stuff like that. Or a medical virtual assistant will be helping people in the health niche. Can be pharmacists, labs, hospital, clinics, maternity homes, and stuff like that. So having a niche is very big. Go through today's lesson, you are going to be able to identify your niche. That's the goal for today. At the end of this, you should be able to say, okay, this is where my heart is, or this is where my expertise is, or this is where I have experience, this is what I'm passionate about. So to find what your niche is, you have to look at what you are good at, what you enjoy doing, that's what you are passionate about, and what is in demand in the market. So if you are good at, I don't know, you're good at catching poisonous spiders. That's one example. What's one example I like? Or you're good at finding spider webs, cobwebs everywhere, and catching the spiders and putting them in jars. That's what you are good at. That's what you enjoy doing. Is there a demand for it? Is anybody willing to pay you to go and catch spiders and put in bottles for them? That's something that you want to look at. And even if somebody somewhere in the world is interested in that particular service, is it sustainable? Will you get enough clients to pay your bills? Is there a high enough market value or market demand for that service for you to actually go into it as your niche? So if what you are good at, or what if you find something that you are good at and you enjoy, that can just be your hobby. Money in your pocket is to have a market willing to pay for that service. If you know how to if there's a market demand for something and there is nothing there for you. So all these three things, and you do is that you just get a pen and paper. What you are good at, just write everything. Then it's like a brain dump. So don't look at, okay, how many have I written, or this one does not really make sense. Even if you can sing, write it. It's something you are good at. You can write, you can tell stories, you can research, anything you are good at, just write it down. Whether it's something you feel that you can do digitally or something that you feel does not really make sense, write it down. Then from that list, select what you actually enjoy doing. So there's some things that you might be good at, but it's just something that you do because you must do. You don't find any pleasure in it and all that. Select the ones that you enjoy doing from that list of what you are good at. And then after that, you can now look at, okay, what's the demand for this skill? And then you can start striking out some things. Okay, there's no demand for XYZ, there's no demand for the next one. And then the ones that there's a demand for, you have something to start with. So finding your niche is very important for three reasons. The first one is that you are able to attract high quality clients, people that know what they need, people that value the skills that you bring to the table. So they will seek you out because they know you are great at one thing. They are looking for a social media manager. They will come to someone that tells you, this is what I have done, these are the results that I have, that this is what I've been able to achieve for someone, this is what I'm passionate about. It's easier to stand out in a crowded space when you're saying, okay, this is what I do, than for you to blend in. If you are calling people that are data entry specialists, you are there. You are calling someone that people that are social media managers. You can say, oh, I'm a social media manager, I know how to do data entry. You are just saying too many things. Versus someone that is just screaming one particular thing. It's much easier to stand out when you have a niche. You are trying to target people in a particular industry. For instance, if you're a real estate virtual assistant and you're trying to target real estate agents, all your content, you will be known as a person for real estate. Versus if today your content is targeting real estate agents, tomorrow you're targeting health care professionals, next tomorrow you're targeting something else. Look at all the creators that you can find online. You will see that they have something or someone that they are targeting. They have a particular skill that they're always talking about, a particular target market they're always talking about. And then you can charge more because you are like a specialist, you are like an authority, an expert. So you'll be paid more because you offer a highly sought after expertise. And that is why picking something that has a high market demand is very, very important. And thirdly, you'll be able to build a stronger reputation. People will be able to see your content and know that this is what this person does. you'll be able to build your reputation faster than someone that is all over the place. So when you are known for doing one thing exceptionally well, word of mouth spreads faster. People will easily remember you much more than someone that has been saying too many things. People will easily remember what you said, or when they come across your content again, they are going to know you for that thing. So it's easier to create awareness, to build a stronger reputation online and even offline. Then the assessment to find your niche. Now, for you to narrow down your niche and assess yourself to know, okay, this is what my niche is. Like I said earlier, you have to write down, what do I enjoy doing most, which tasks am I good at? So you have to be passionate about it. You have to be good at it. So even if you are passionate about writing and you are not good at writing, just abort mission, because you are not going to get the clients that you are looking for. So there's something that we're supposed to add here, and that is the market demand. You have to know, okay, does this thing that I'm going for, is it something I can monetize? So passionate about it. What tax am I good at? And if it's something that you're not good at yet, there is room to learn it, and then you can offer that skill. But for you to just go as you are, people are not going to hire you to just do rubbish for them, because they are going to be paying you. And then you have to look at where you have experience the most. So you can transition from another field to virtual assistant. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they are transitioning is that they think that they are starting from scratch. They don't have experience, they are new, and you are not. You have already accumulated a wealth of skills and experience. What you need to do is pivot those skills to fit into a new framework. Think of it as reshaping what you know to meet new demands. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Transitioning into virtual assistants, there's almost nobody I have seen that is starting from scratch. Whether you are a student that just finished secondary school, you are in 100 level, or you have graduated, or you are a 9 to 5 worker, you're a retiree, wherever level you are in your life or whatever, you have at least one skill that is going to fit into virtual assistance. So nobody really starts from scratch. So now to transition into virtual assistance, there are some steps that you need to take. And the first step is to identify those transferable skills. So every job you have ever had, you have actually put in some work there. If you have ever had a job, whether you were paid for the job, you were not paid for the job, you volunteered, it does not matter. You have already gotten a skill set. I believe that in Nigeria, at least almost every university, if you are a graduate, almost every university, you must have presented at least one seminar. I don't know about a lot of schools, but at least the schools that I know of, you present seminar or you defend projects, but you must stand in front of your class and give a kind of talk or a presentation. You must have created slides for that presentation, or at least gotten someone to create the slides for you and all that. But there are some skills that you must have got. You must have written projects if you are a graduate. And if you are still an undergraduate, you do assignments, you do research all the time for your assignments. They always give assignments in university, even secondary schools give assignments. And sometimes you can go online, find the information you're looking for. So you have gotten research skills, you have gotten presentation skills, and a lot of these other skills that 9 to 5 workers have. So you don't need to throw all that previous experience away. Instead, you need to repurpose it, package it, repackage it to look better, for it to fit into what you are trying to achieve. So identify those skills in your church. If you are a worker in your church, or you have helped out in maybe an event, maybe you help plan a baby shower, or you help plan a dedication, or you helped plan a birthday party. What were the skills that you brought into that environment, and how can you make it digital? Because sometimes, let's say you helped plan a baby shower, and for that baby shower, you when you went to the caterer or the baker to tell the baker, okay, this is the cake that you should bake and all that. You walked into their shop or into their bakery. Now, as a virtual assistant, you are going to be doing those things. You can help plan events, all types of events, whether it's a webinar or it's a physical event, but you are going to be planning it virtually. So if your client in the US is having a meeting with like 10 people, how can you also book cake in the US, even if you have never been to the US? How can you book a cake in the US for it to arrive in that location for that meeting that the client is going to be having? So the only thing now is that you are going to be doing it digitally, but it's something that you have already done on site before. So you might have been a personal assistant and you have been managing your boss's schedule, you have been reminding them of what's important. You are going to still be reminding your clients of what's important, managing their schedule and stuff like that. But this time you are going to be in your house in Port Harcourt and in Port Harcourt. You're going to be in your house in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, in Asaba. And you are doing it for your client that is in Abuja or your client that is in Sambisa Forest. So that's how this works. So you have to identify transferable skills, the skills that you have gotten over time. But even if it's your church, you planned Children's Day in church, you participated in Children's Day in church, you gave a speech, or you, I don't know, anything that you have done in the past, whether from your childhood until adulthood, all these things matter. So write them down. Those are transferable skills. For example, if you've worked as a personal assistant, you might already have skills like calendar management. You might already be booking meetings, reminding your boss of meetings. You might already be flagging important emails for your boss, or preparing meeting minutes. That's writing minutes for your meetings, preparing documents, data entry, communicating with people, sending all those um, reminders for maybe a board meeting and all that. You might have already done all these things. So now, as a virtual assistant, the only difference is that you are going to be in your house and still do what you were doing when you were working on site. So if you have been if you are in accounting or finance, you can transition into virtual assistant and specialize in bookkeeping, financial management. You are still doing the accounting things that you were doing in your 9 to 5, but this time you are doing it remotely, you are doing it virtually, you are doing it for yourself. You have your own business name, you work when you want to work, you can do it from your village. You travel for Christmas, you are doing it during Christmas in your village. You don't have to take permission from your boss for like leave. You can lie down on your bed and be doing it. You don't have to dress up and go to work. If you have been a teacher or you are in teaching, you have been communicating with students. Maybe you have even been giving projects to students, marking these projects for students. You have been managing, resolving conflicts and all this. These are soft skills that can also come in handy when you're working as a virtual assistant. And if you have been teaching and maybe the school that you have been teaching do a lot of work online, maybe they submit their assignments online and all that, you also have these skills, especially if you use a platform like can't even remember, but there's this Google Classroom. If your school uses Google Classroom, then you already have some skills that you bring to the table as a virtual assistant. So you might also be, you also have project management experience. If you are doing end of year party, you must have prepared your class for the party, or helps the school in planning for that project, that Christmas party, that career day or cultural day or whatever. So it does not matter the background they are coming from. You already have some transferable skills. And I'm sure that as I've said some of these things, you have already, like, you can write down some things that you can do as a virtual assistant. Then now you have to align your new niche with what you know. So transitioning is easier when you start with something that is familiar. So instead of you going to take something that is entirely strange or entirely new, you can just align your new niche. You can choose a niche that is based on the background that you already have. So that's what I've been explaining from the previous slide up till now. So just align your new niche to the experiences that you have. So if you are coming from a corporate or specialized background, you don't have to switch to something completely new. You can target a VA niche that relates to your previous work experience. So an example here is if you studied accounting and worked in finance, I've already said this, you can just consider financial management, bookkeeping, etc. This just makes your transition smoother because you'll still be leveraging your expertise while shifting to a more flexible remote role. So you see some some organizations where they'll say we have a combined experience of 20 years. Maybe they're a group of 5 people and people just have 2 years experience, 5 years experience, 7 years, but they want to package themselves to look better. So when you come in as a virtual assistant, you will not be saying I'm a new virtual assistant, I don't know what I'm doing. You'll be saying I bring my 10 years accounting experience, refine everything to look better. So I'm seeing a lot of messages here. Let me just be sure. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to be sure that people were still hearing me and they were not just saying they're not hearing me. And then, okay, I'm done with this slide. So now, after you have aligned your new niche with what you know, you have to learn the tool that you need for that niche. So this is not where you're going to get scared of the tech, because I get a lot of emails from people that say, oh, I want to be a virtual assistant, but I am not tech savvy. I don't have a laptop. I don't have this. People like to magnify their problems more than the small solutions that they have that they can start with. When I started out as a virtual assistant, I didn't know a lot of what I know now. And every person you see that is an expert that can use whatever tool they can use was once an amateur. There's always a learning curve to this thing. So don't be afraid to start small. When you're transitioning, one of the big hurdles is learning new tools or platforms that are popular among VAs. As long as you keep your head down, you learn it, you practice it, you are going to scale through. But if you're just someone that likes to you like to get as much information as possible, you just never implement what you learn, of course, it's not going to work out for you. There are people that have jumped from training to training to training, but they don't implement what they learn. They don't execute what you learn. So that's why any training you are going to take, it has to be something that is not just going to tell you what to do or show you how to do it. It's going to actually tell you, do this thing. Look at it and tell you, this is the mistake that you made. This is what you have done correctly. So that you will know that you are not just making mistakes and going with it, and then you now maybe work with a client and make those same mistakes. So there are tools that you are going to need to know how to use. And it's not something that cannot be done. A lot of people have learned to use those tools. Even old people that are virtual assistants can use them. So whether you are young or you're old, you can figure out how to use the tools if you are really serious and you want to learn. So if you're an admin professional, you can focus on a project management tool like Asana. So even if you've been doing project management before, you can decide to, okay, this is a project management tool I want to use. Before, when I was doing it, we were just putting all our you're just writing all the ideas, all the stages on a notepad or something. But this, when you are doing it digitally, people at the other end of the world will also be a part of the project. They want to see what the stage that you are in at every point in time. And project management tools like Trello and Asana are very, very useful. So as a virtual assistant, you might have a client that's working with different people at every point in time. So I've had clients that do that a lot. And one example is a client I was working with. I think they had some people from the UK. The client was based in the UK. I was the only one from Nigeria. They had some people from Saudi Arabia, some people from India, just like that. And we're all working in a team. So we had to collaborate a lot. So we're using a lot of collaboration tools from Google and even Asana. So no one expects you to know everything from day one. The first virtual assistant client that actually paid me good money when the person reached out to me to say, I want you to be my virtual assistant, that's after I'd offered my services for free on a group that person was in. The person reached out to me months after the group had closed and said, okay, I want you to be my virtual assistant. I blatantly said, I don't know what a virtual assistant is. And the person had to explain to me who a virtual assistant is. That was the first definition that I got of who a virtual assistant is, or who a virtual assistant. Like, that's how I started. So I did not start knowing everything. So nobody expects you to know it all. Nobody wants to see that you are a graduate before they hire you as a virtual assistant. There are some job descriptions that will say, okay, we need someone that has a degree in XYZ, but those ones are few and far between. People just want to see that you have the skills, you have the experience, you know what you are doing. Nobody is going to ask you to submit your degree certificate before they give you a job. And that's why I said, whether you are educated or you're not educated. In fact, there is a research, a brand in the US recently reached out to me for one of my blog posts. I wrote one of my blog posts and it's ranking #1 on Google. So they did a research on among virtual assistants, and they wanted me to link to their blog post. So they asked me to check it out, and if I feel that it's good enough, I can link to that blog post. So I read the blog post, and one of the important or amazing facts that I saw on that research is that virtual assistants that don't have a university degree charge $3 above what virtual assistants with a degree charge. That's their research that they did, like it's an independent research and all that. So if most of the virtual assistants that they surveyed and all are based in the UK, in the US, and I think Australia. And people that don't even have a degree, they charge $3 above those that have degrees. So that just goes to show you that this is not something that is for people that hold a bachelor or a master's or a PhD. Nobody cares about that. People want to see that you have experience. They want to see that you have put together a portfolio of what you have done or what you can do. They want to see that other people trust you enough before they can give you their projects. So no one expects you to know it all from day one. Give yourself grace and the space to learn as you go. The important thing is to get started. Master one tool at a time, because mastery comes from consistent use, not instant perfection. This just makes a lot of sense. Mastery comes from consistent use, practicing what you learn. With time, you are going to get better and better, and not instant perfection. Nobody just becomes perfect instantly. I'm sure even people that create these tools, they learn more about the tools as they use it. They become better at using it. They become faster, more efficient as they use these tools from day to day. Then the fourth thing that you need to do is to market yourself based on your previous experience. And I just mentioned it before. Even if you are new to VA work, the experience you bring from your previous field is valuable. Frame it in a way that aligns with your new role. And that is why I mentioned that, say I bring 10 years experience to your business. You have not been a virtual assistant for 10 years. In fact, you became a virtual assistant last week, but you have been, I don't know, you have been a personal assistant for 10 years, or you have been an accountant for 20 years, or you have been working in marketing for 30 years, whatever experience you have brought. And in cases where you have a business that's is kind of like an agency, more than one person, maybe you are 2 or you are 3, package it. If this person has 2 years experience, the other person has 5 years experience, the other person has 1 year experience, we have a combined 9-year experience. The customer service virtual assistants, you are going to be doing things like calendar management, a little bit of calendar management anyway, email management, sometimes even social media support, all those DMs that they send, they are going to be needing customer service skills to respond to those things, live chats, community management. And now, a lot of people here, if I ask you now, do you have any community management experience? You might say no, but you are the WhatsApp admin for your family. You are the WhatsApp admin for your primary school group chats. This takes community management skills for you to manage a group, and the group has not scattered the group is orderly, people are not abusing themselves every day. You are able to resolve conflicts, share information, and all that. The first experience I had with community management or that, let me say virtual community management, not something that was on site and everything, was a WhatsApp group, and it was for a client. The client had like a mastermind and put the people in the mastermind in a group, and I was the group admin or the group moderator. So I'll pass information from the client to the group. I'll filter out every important question from the group to the client, and that's what I was doing. That's community management. So there is more in-depth community management, maybe if you are doing it in a membership site or in a more organized platform. But the basics, WhatsApp group. Almost everybody is an admin of at least one WhatsApp group, even if it's your family group chat. And then if you're coming from project management, you can highlight your skills in organization, deadline tracking, managing multiple tasks at once. Of course, you are going to you need to have these skills as a virtual assistant because you're going to be working with multiple clients with time. So transitioning to a virtual assistant career is all about repackaging yourself. You are not just saying I'm new to this. Instead, you are saying I'm experienced in X and can help you with Y using the skills I have honed over the years. That's what I've been saying for the last 5 minutes. Bring some experiences and identifying your strengths and your interests again. So finding your niche is not just about what you enjoy or what you are good at. It also has to do with market needs. And this is where the market demand comes in. So I've said this, I think I've said it more than 2 times. You are good at it, you are passionate about it, but are people willing to pay for it? That's what market demand is. People are something that people are willing to or happy to pay for. So without considering market demand, you will end up offering something that's either overcrowded or under demanded. So it's very important that you don't go and choose something that only one person in the world needs, or too few people need, or everybody is doing it. So if you go to choose what too many people are in, you will price the lowest and still be struggling to find clients. And that is why it is good to specialize in something that has a high market demand. If it's something that has a high market demand and then it is not overcrowded, very good. But if it is overcrowded, everybody is learning that same thing, then, or everybody knows how to do that same thing, then clients know that if you don't agree for the ridiculous price that they are telling you, they can go move on to the next person. And you also know that. So you'll be willing to take anything from any client because the market is oversaturated. So you have to make sure that it is not overcrowded and it is not under demanded. So now you have to research what is in demand. Look around, which services or skills are businesses constantly looking for. One example is social media management. It is in high demand because almost every business, whether the person is a business or, in fact, there are a lot of people that you know that have social media platforms but are not active there. They have it, they have created the account, but they are not active. They don't have time, but they don't know what to post. So they don't know how to, they don't know how to design what they want to post. They don't know how to present themselves in the way that they would like. So they'll just be there watching memes, looking at what other people are posting, but they just never post content by themselves. So social media is in high demand because almost every business needs an online presence. So they might not have money for a website, but social media is free. They are going to get on social media. Customer service is another area that is in demand. Companies that are expanding need help with managing customer relationships. So customer service is very important. So customer service is a skill, but you are going to need to have other skills to work hand in hand, especially when you are doing it virtually. And I mentioned some of them earlier. I mentioned email management, community management, and all that. So you have to research what is in demand look at what is in demand, and then you can find out what is in demand by scanning job boards. These job boards are free to look through. You don't have to pay money. Go on Upwork, go on LinkedIn, go on Fiverr, Google it. Just look for maybe say virtual assistant or customer service. Just virtual assistants, especially when you look at virtual assistants, you see, okay, look at the job description. What are they asking for? What are the skills that they're asking for? This is one way to look at it. What are the skills that they're asking for their virtual assistants to have? Do I have these skills? That's when you see some gaps that you need to upgrade your information or upgrade your knowledge or learn. That's where you see some things that you need to learn. You also you need to look at this platform. Just scroll through, look at all the different types of jobs. Which ones are there? Are you not seeing what you are passionate about or you are interested in or you are good at? Which ones are you not seeing? Then that is going to give you an idea of what is actually in demand. You can even look at platforms like I think Jobberman or something. All these platforms, look at them. What are people actually looking for? What are brands looking for? Like the kind of help that they are looking for, things that are online that can be done remotely. Where is there a gap that you can fill? And then you can look at trending industry. There's some industries that are trending: digital marketing, e-commerce. There are industries like the coaching industry, consulting. I work with coaches and consultants. It is trending. Everybody wants to be a coach. Like, and most people that have worked, let's say somebody has a 9-to-5 job and the person has found success in a particular thing. Most of them want to monetize their knowledge. That's why I see everywhere, monetize your knowledge, monetize your knowledge. And most of them want to do it through coaching. Some of them want to release ebooks and stuff. Some of them want to release courses. They want to be course creators and everything. So look at what is trending and then try to find your space in that place. Analyze what people are frequently asking about in online communities or forums. This information is free. Start digging. Go down that rabbit hole. You can use Google Trends to find out to just check some trends and see, okay, what is trending? Is it e-commerce? Is it digital marketing? What is actually trending? And once you understand what's in demand, you can align your niche to match those needs. So you cannot go and choose a niche that you are going to be desperately looking for clients. You have to choose something that is in demand. People are in need of graphics. People are in need of copywriters. People are in need of admin support. Admin support covers even customer service. People are in need of social media managers. People are in need of tech support. People are in need of people that know how to do basic search engine optimization because they want to rank higher on Google. And then you have to solve a real problem. So look at okay, the key to a great niche is solving a specific problem that people or businesses are willing to pay for. If there's a huge demand for social media management, but you also have skills in data analysis, combine those two. You can position yourself as a data-driven social media manager, offering insights on what posts work best based on the numbers. So data analysis, you have the data or any data you see, you can analyze it and you can say what is going to work best. So you can combine it, you can give data-driven results or data-driven information to your clients. So combine if you have like a particular group of people that are going to be supporting, you can combine your skills. For instance, email marketing goes hand in hand with websites work generally, because a lot of people have like all these sales page that they build on their websites and they have their lead generation elements all over their website that are generating all those things for their email list. I do creating landing pages, writing the copies for clients. I'm designing lead magnets that are going to get people into that email list. All these services working hand in hand. So I'm not just there writing emails for you or automating stuff. I'm also helping you create the lead magnet that is going to bring people, entice people to subscribe to that email list. So some services work hand in hand to try to create a bridge or marry two or more things together. That's not only solving a problem, but offering a unique solution that stands out in a crowded market. So you have to stand out as much as possible, because a lot of people are interested in virtual assistants. A lot of people are becoming virtual assistants. But the only difference between you and the next virtual assistant is your ability to find paying clients. So you want to be unique. You don't want to just blend. You are learning the same skill. You are doing the same thing. You have to make sure that you have an edge over the next virtual assistant at all times. It has to be like the logical, like hiring has to be the logical decision that a potential or a prospective client should make. And number three, you have to adapt as the market changes. I already talked about this earlier. So markets are not static, they change. So you should pay attention. Pay attention to new trends or industries that are growing. AI is what is in vogue now. A lot of people are using AI. A lot of people need you to create content faster. So you need AI as a virtual assistant to support the work that you do. AI is not going to take your job if you know how to manipulate AI, how to use AI to your advantage. So there are some cases where you should stay away from AI, and there are other cases where you should use AI to work faster. For example, with the rise of remote work, there's been a huge increase in demand for virtual office managers who can handle everything from organizing team meetings to tracking project milestones. Aligning with market demand means being flexible enough to adapt your niche when necessary. When I started out as a virtual assistant, I did not have a niche. I was doing everything that my clients needed. I was working with, whether you are from e-commerce or you are a coach, you have a multi-level marketing business. I was doing everything. As long as you are willing to pay, I was doing. But I was able to adapt. I was able to choose a niche based on what I enjoyed doing, what I was passionate about, and where the main money was coming from. So I married everything together, and I was able to come up with my own niche. And I with my life and kids and everything. So you should be able to adapt with what the market wants. That's what your target market wants. And even your own lifestyle, where you are in your personal life. If you are a student, you cannot take on a job that like telemarketing that will require you to be making phone calls at like when your classes should be going, or work when you are free, or take some time of work in advance. So when you have exams, you don't have to do it before it's time for your exams. For virtual assistants work during your 9 to 5, like while it's time for you to do your 9 to 5 job, because they can fire you for it. So you should have to choose something that you can do when you are back from your 9 to 5 job. So putting it all together, step one, you have to identify your skills and your passion. Step two, you have to research the market to understand which services are in demand and which ones are not. Step three, you have to combine your skills with the needs of the market to create a niche that solves a specific problem. Sometimes I dare say, even like for a specific group of people, you can decide that you provide email marketing services for e-commerce business owners. There are people like that. Then you can also decide that you're going to be a social media manager for hotels and people in the leisure industry, luxury leisure industry. You can be a social media manager for healthcare professionals. People do that. If you take your time and go through social media, you see a lot of people like niching down to that level. And then step four, you have to keep evolving by staying updated with market trends and adjusting your niche when necessary. So in short, understanding market demand is about recognizing where the opportunities lie and adjusting your niche to meet that demand. That's how you make sure your skills stay relevant and profitable. You want to make sure that you don't become redundant, like the work for your clients, you are not easily replaceable. I like to say the lazier my clients become, the better for me. So if there's something that I can do to make sure that you become more lazy and you rely on me to get that done, best believe I'm going to do it for that client because I want to be indispensable. So thank you for your time and for your attention so far. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. I'm still sharing. Okay, does anyone have any question?
Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. I can hear.
Okay, so I want to ask that as a beginner, can you offer both like an administrative task and a social media management task?
Can you offer calendar management tasks and
No, administrative tasks and social media management task.
okay, so I'm going to repeat your question just so because it was breaking. You're asking that as a virtual assistant, can you offer administrative tasks and social media management tasks? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are some cases where there's some cases where a client is going to need somebody that does both. So they might say, okay, we are looking for a social media manager that is going to offer, like you see it in the job description.
Okay.
So it's something that is like it happens. You see it in LinkedIn job descriptions sometimes. There's some other job boards that even on Indeed, you're going to see some job descriptions that you say we're looking for a social media manager. And then when you look at the job description, you say, okay, the person, sometimes they always say the person should be able to use a content management system like WordPress. And they don't need you to go and like to know how to build a WordPress website. They just need somebody that has like the basic skill of publishing a blog post on a WordPress website. You are not writing the blog post yourself. Your job is simply to publish it. But the job title is going to be social media manager. So that's why a lot of experts say it's very important to stack your skills, like to skill stack. There are some things that I do not publicly market, or I don't publicly say, okay, this is what this is what I do. For instance, I write ebooks for clients, I design ebooks for clients, but you will not see me marketing my ebook design services. I'm marketing something entirely different. Like I said, email management, website design. That's what I'm looking at. But when I get a client that I'm building a website for, there's something called upselling. I'll not say, okay, for this your website, well, I've done a good job. What you need now is a lead generation system. You need to start generating leads for email marketing. I can on my marketing for them and all that. But some other time, in some other cases, the clients themselves will tell you that I need a social media manager, but the person should also be able to help us with calendar management or inbox management. So the person is going to be doing inbox management for me and also social media management. So they are always very clear. You have to make sure that the job description is as clear as possible. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, I have other questions though. So, what's your opinion about volunteering as a beginner to gain experience?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned during the training, when I started out as a virtual assistant, I didn't know who a virtual assistant was. I only offered to, like on a group, there were over 200 bloggers on the group. And I said, and they were trying to make the group more organized and everything. So I offered to create ebooks for the group, like that was going to be helpful to everybody on the group. So the admin of the group went on the group and said, oh, this Rose creates the best ebooks. I didn't even tell her what to write in this ebook. She just used her own knowledge, research, and everything, and put together this valuable resource for everyone. And that was how that person, like the person that eventually told me who a virtual assistant is. In fact, we still work together till today. This was in January of 2019. That was how that person heard about me, did not contact me until about 2 or 3 months after that group had closed down. That's when the person found my number and reached out to me. So volunteering to get experience is, I even recommend it sometimes. But you have to draw a line. You cannot just keep volunteering and volunteering and volunteering. Experience is very important, and having testimonials that you can use to market your services is very important. But draw a line. When you are volunteering, you don't have to you don't have to what's the word, spend all your time there. You have to still know that this is not something that is paid. You're not just, it's not a hobby for you. So volunteer maybe once or twice, but don't just make it a lifestyle where you just keep volunteering for months on end. You can volunteer to be part of a particular project, and you add it to your work experience, you add it to your portfolio. You should have something to benefit when you are volunteering, a testimonial, work experience, and something to add to your portfolio. It has to look good on your portfolio.
Okay. So my last question is, when interviewing with an international company, like for a virtual assistant job, does not having an American accent get you cancelled?
You were asking when you are working with or when you're interviewing. Yes, when you're interviewing with an international company, would your accent affect getting the job or not? Was that your question?
Yes. Yes, that's the question.
Okay. So no, your accent will not influence the client's decision, especially when you have the experience that they are looking for. You have to be able to communicate clearly and not.
Okay.
It's just your accent and you know what you are doing. It's a win-win when they hire somebody that is good, and when they hire someone that is good, of course, if you're the one that is good, you are going to make money and they are going to be getting something for themselves. So whatever service or whatever you're helping them out with, whatever you're assisting them with, they are going to get the best for themselves. So it does not matter if the virtual assistant has a very thick, I don't know, accent, as long as the person can speak well, can communicate clearly, and the clients can understand. It's a win-win. They are not just taking you on without and paying you, and you're not doing any work. You're actually going to be supporting them. So if they have seen the work that you do, and that is why you have to remove some pressure from your discovery call. Before somebody gets on your discovery call with you, they should already be halfway sold. It's going to remove a lot of pressure from you during your discovery call. Because if they have gone through your website or your content on social media, you have put your best foot forward, and they can see reviews, they can see case studies, they can see work that you have already done, or they can see that you are showing your expertise wherever that is, whether it's on social media or on your personal website. When they come on that discovery call, they are not going to be focused on your accent. But but in a case where you don't really have an online presence, they have nothing to, like, you're just telling them, I'm the best person for the job, I know what I'm doing. It's more difficult. So take off some pressure from your discovery calls. And for people that don't know what a discovery call is, usually when someone wants to work with a virtual assistant, they would like to get to know the person. So it's like going on a date with the potential clients to see if people are going to be a good fit to work together. So they'll ask you questions about your expertise and your experience, and you also ask them questions about their business, the tools they use, and the kind of results that they want for their business. So taking some pressure off your discovery calls is going to help. But I have never seen a case where not having a wonderful accent is going to stop the clients from hiring a virtual assistant. So I think
Good
okay,
evening,
let me
ma.
look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening, Jemima.
Yes, I have a few questions.
Okay.
Um, as a beginner, if you don't have prior experience in some of the jobs you mentioned before, like a personal assistant and some of the other jobs you mentioned, how do you go about that?
Okay. So just like the question, just as she asked in that question, volunteering. Volunteering is one way that you can get experience. But um I am someone that likes feedback. So when I work with clients, I even ask them for feedback. And the feedback I get, I try to implement it and do something that is better. So I highly, highly recommend. And I have to say that some business owners, even if you want to work with them for free to get the experience, they are not very willing to let you into their business, especially when they feel like you don't know what you're doing because you might just press spoil or control spoil or something. So I would like, I'll really encourage you to partake or participate in a training that offers hands-on experience. There are trainings like that that help virtual assistants get experience and not just get experience, because I have seen trainings. I support a lot of course creators. So I've seen trainings that just tell you, okay, do this, and they give you like a task or a project or something to do, and then there is no feedback. So you have to participate in a training, and that's one thing I do in my own trainings. I make sure that there is a project. When you learn a skill, there is a project for you to have that hands-on experience. You will go and do that project. And when you do the project, you will submit it to me. I have to come in and look at what you have done. What you have done. There are some people that are very confident. In fact, when they submit their project, they tell me, "Oh, this was so eye-opening. I'm so proud of what I've been able to do." And then when I look at the project, I see that there are some mistakes here and there, and I start correcting those mistakes. So that feedback will now help you not to make that mistake when you are working with your like a paying client. And then when you get that experience, and of course that's one of the reasons why I started offering hands-on experience, you are able to have a portfolio because you will have sample work you can put in your virtual assistant portfolio, even if you have not gotten a single paying client. Because when a potential client looks at your portfolio, they're not going to be asking you, okay, this particular project, how much were you paid or were you paid? They are just seeing, they are showing them evidence. This was what it was. This is what it looks like. This is what I was able to achieve. They're seeing that you have the experience and you have the skills to, to offer. So apart from volunteering, just looking for businesses or brands that fit into your ideal target audience to volunteer, you have to look for trainings that offer hands-on experience, not just courses that you go and sit down, watch it to the end, and get a certificate at the end. Not stuff like that. You need something that is going to go through your work and give you tailored feedback, not a group thing. This you as a person give you feedback
Yeah,
for yourself.
individual.
Yes, individual feedback. Yeah.
Okay. So are we going to get the projects to do? Are you giving us
Um.
projects to do?
So you know that the organizers of this training, oh God. You know that the organizers of this training, like I'm not the primary organizer, so they're going to give you all the information um about that and any projects and all that. So they will communicate
Oh,
with you after now. Yeah.
okay. So also my second question, do we need a certificate as a virtual assistant? Do you need like a certificate to prove
Okay.
like you're that you're a virtual assistant?
Okay, so as a virtual assistant, you actually do not need a certificate. It's not compulsory to get a certificate. However, I said during the training that seize every opportunity to stand out. So although if you already have the skills, the experience to show and everything, the potential client is not going to care if you have a certificate or not. But when someone has the same experience as you, the same skills, the same everything, you might just need something else that will just make you stand out more. For me now in my trainings, I offer certificates, but I don't not everybody gets a certificate. And I like to be upfront about that because I don't want to offer certificates to people that don't put in the work. I have been coaching people since 2020 or 2021. And some people, even if they pay for a training, they don't see it through to the end. It will just be on their to-do list. They'll just keep procrastinating. So that is why people that I issue certificates to are people that complete projects, send it to me to review. When I review their project and I see that, okay, this person has done the right thing. And some people do their projects 3 times. So you will do the project, send it to me, I'll review and tell you all the mistakes you have made. You will go back and do it again until you get it right. And then after the course of the training, the person can now request it. Some people finish the training, get like those there are about 2 people. One person got her first client the day after she completed one training, although it's somebody that she had worked with in the past, but not as a virtual assistant. She completed a training and the next day she got a client. So she has not even come back to ask me for any certificates. There are some people like that, while there are others that ask for the certificate, especially because they want to share it with their network, tell people, okay, this is what I've been up to, this is what I've been able to achieve. This is what I've been able to achieve. So no, having a certificate is not compulsory. You can still succeed as a virtual assistant without the certificate, but it's just something that is nice to have, especially when you need it to as leverage over someone else.
Okay. Also, is there a way we can reach you privately?
Um, I think any detail about reaching me privately and stuff, they are going to share it. The TSS team is going to share that with you after the training. So I just they just asked me to come here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to just talk to the members of their community. And after this, you can any person that wants to reach out to me, you can just ask them, and they are going to send any information to you, and then you can reach out to me privately.
All right, ma. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. So there are some questions in the chat. I just want to look at. Okay, someone said, does the international market accommodate Nigerians when we have a bad reputation? Now, of course, Nigeria has a bad reputation. Everybody knows, but you are not going to work with people without some form of agreement or something. That is why, as a virtual assistant, you're going to need a contract that protects you and protects your clients. So it goes beyond bad reputation. There are companies in the US, in the UK, and all over that hire Nigerians and move the Nigerian and their family and everybody abroad. So it's that they have not heard about Nigerians. People hire Nigerians all the time. They know that a lot of Nigerians know what they are doing. They know. So people, although Nigeria has a bad reputation when it comes to some things, but it is not enough to stop you from getting clients. It is the bad reputation is not enough. There people even hire remote workers from all parts of the world, even people countries that have a higher crime rate than Nigeria. People hire people from those countries. Just have a skill, have experience, know how to brand yourself, how to package yourself, know how to communicate your value, because you can be the best person in the room, the most authentic person, but be the best kept secret, because every other person that is not even half as good as you is already positioning themselves better. So Nigeria is not the worst country. People still hire virtual assistants and all kinds of remote workers from Nigeria. Just go online and look at the stats. You see a lot of Nigerians that are making a lot of money online. People even buy physical products from Nigerians in Nigeria, and they will bill it to them wherever they are in the world. So if somebody can buy a physical product, how much more a business that you are not necessarily owning their business, they are still the owners of the business. You're just helping, you're just offering a service to them from a remote location. And with time, you are going to build a relationship with your clients. How even if you have never met them, I've never met at least 99% of my clients, I've never met them, but they know about my kids, I know about their kids, they know about my family. We've built a relationship beyond just work. So as a virtual assistant, of course, they are going to be sharing sensitive information with you, like their passwords, their business strategy, and stuff like that. That's why I mentioned the contract. You need to sign a contract, and you have to initiate it to say, one of the steps is that you have to sign a contract with me, and then this is how I'm going to protect your information. I'm going to, when you are upfront with that piece of information, you put their minds at ease. So before somebody will even come to you, most people say have not even heard that Nigeria is that bad. They just know that okay, the quality of life is not all that, but not that the average Nigeria is out to get you. So no, the bad reputation is not going to affect you getting virtual assistant clients. I think that's the only question I can see here. Okay. So does anybody have any other question?
Okay, good evening.
Okay, good evening, Grace.
Okay, you made mention of getting real life real projects from some specific
Okay.
site. So I want to ask, can you suggest any of these sites where we can get these real projects and then someone can actually access these projects for us?
Okay, so actually assessing or reviewing projects for people, like to tell you what you have done, what you have done wrong or right, is time consuming. It takes somebody that is really invested in your growth and wants to really support you to actually give you that kind of tailored feedback. So for me, it's people that are members of my community that I do that for. So I also give them the projects. I already have all the projects. I've already sourced for the projects. I've taken my own the tasks that some clients have also shared with me, and I have put them out. So you see them like they look like what somebody would give to their virtual assistant, and that's how I present it in my own case. So I present it like, for let's say you learn a particular skill, email management. This is the email management project, so that you go and do it. You are going to send, this is how you are going to submit this project for me to review for you for each skill you learn. Now, for you to do, it's not something that there's no particular website that I know of that you can just go and get projects, except you want to go to all these job boards and just pick a job description and do the project. But then who is really invested in your growth, that is going to take that time to review that project, give you feedback individually for every single person? So you can get, if it's for having an idea of a project or having project samples that you can do, you can just go to all those job boards, copy like a project. Sometimes they don't really say the whole details. They can say, okay, we're in need of a virtual assistant that is going to do email management or calendar management, but they'll not really tell you this is what I want. Nobody wants to put their whole schedule, where they're going to be and all that online. Nobody's going to do that. Or you can even ask AI to generate it for you. But for feedback, I cannot promise you feedback, because I am like I have to provide that feedback for people in my community. So I cannot promise feedback to every single person outside my community.
Okay, so is there a way one can join this your community?
Okay, so about joining my community, I think the plan is to talk about it on day 3. They need to be there. I think you need to have a foundation before we start talking about joining my community and all that. And the TSS team is going to be in charge of that. And that's one of the reasons why they chose me to come and talk to people that are aspiring virtual assistants. As much as possible, we want people to be able to know if virtual assistance is for them, because it can be all inspiring on day 1. But when you get to day 2 and day 3, you might decide, okay, this is for me, and you're very sure, or you might say, okay, this is not for me. So on day 3, we are going to talk in detail about the community and how you can join and all that. And I'll do that with the TFS team, but that's where it's in the works, something we are going to talk about at the end.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. So if you have a question, please unmute your mic and ask.
Okay, good evening, ma.
Good evening, Victoria.
Please, I'd like to know, are we also going to be learning about the email management on this class?
Okay, for this 3-day class, we're going to talk about skills generally, but why? Because not everybody is going to be interested in email management or calendar management. So we cannot just pick one skill and talk about, we're going to talk about skills generally. We're not going to talk about like email management, how to do it step by step. That's something that the community covers, like email management, for instance. The community offers a lot of skills, so you can, and everybody can choose what aligns with them. If you want to be a tech BA, you'll be going to learn a tech skill. If you want to do email, do admin work, you'll be going towards email management. So for this particular training, we're not going to like hold your hand step by step. Step 1, do this for email management. Step 2, no, we're not going to do that in this training, but we're going to do it in the community. Sorry, my light is going on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, is there any other question? Is there any other question? Okay, let me check the chat. Okay, somebody is asking, please.
Okay.
Okay, somebody is asking, please, what do you know about West African Association of Customer Service Professionals that has been circulating recently? Okay, for this, I have not seen it. I don't know if it's circulating or not. I have not seen it. But to offer customer service as a virtual assistant, what I know is that you don't need to be a part of this association. That's what I can say, but I have not seen what is circulating. Sorry, my light. I have not seen what is circulating. Jemima, you wanted to ask a question.
Yes. Well, for a while now, I've been like researching on virtual assistants, like the requirements and all of that, but I stopped. But I came across few things like I think you need to have a skill in CRM something. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to
Okay, yes.
ask what it is.
Okay, so for that, it depends on the niche that you are going to be going into as a virtual assistant. CRM is, for people that don't know, is customer relationship management. So there are different CRM tools that are available that you can learn as a virtual assistant. But not every virtual assistant uses CRM to work with their clients, uses a CRM tool to work with their clients. So it is not, it just depends on your niche as a virtual assistant. There are some admin niches that, or admin There's some clients that are going to be working with, even if you're an admin virtual assistant, you're going to need a CRM. Even if you are in digital marketing, you're going to need a CRM to work with those particular clients. But it is not a tool that every single virtual assistant needs to have. So depending on the niche you decide to go into, then you are going to need to learn some particular tools for that particular niche.
Okay. So how do we identify the tools we need for a particular niche?
Okay, so for instance, if you are going to be an email marketing virtual assistant, or you want to go into digital marketing and specialize email marketing, you have to be looking at, okay, which kind of email service provider. Like an email marketing tool now is a customer, it's a CRM tool, although it's not as robust as some other CRM tools. And depending on your niche, um the CRM tool you would use for that niche might be different. For instance, there is this, I can't remember, but it's what medical virtual assistants use. It's a CRM tool, but for medical or health establishments. So there are some, like a someone in the online education industry will be using an email marketing tool like SendFox, ConvertKit, MailChimp, etc. Will be using that as their CRM tool. It's just any tool that will help you manage the relationship that you have with your clients, your customer.
Okay.
So depending on the niche that you are in, the kind of clients you are going to be supporting, then it's going to inform the kind of tool you are going to be using. For instance, when I used to provide email marketing services for even e-commerce business owners, I started using Klaviyo. I only used Klaviyo when I was supporting e-commerce business owners as their email marketer or their email marketing virtual assistant. But when I am working with coaches, I'll be using other tools like Katra, MailChimp, ConvertKit. So there are sometimes that because of a particular client, you have to learn how to use a tool. Before I used Klaviyo or Katra or most of these tools, I had never used them before. I just had to learn on the job. And most of my clients trust that I know what I'm doing. So they'll tell me, Rose, I'm moving from Brevo to Katra. I need you to go and learn Katra. And I will log into their platform and start clicking all the buttons and I will figure it out. They know that I will figure it out. I have clients that even pay for courses for me to learn it because I'm like an asset to their business. So they will pay for a course and they'll tell me, I feel that we need this information, we need to implement this and all that. They'll pay for tools for me to have access. And I'll go there, I'll learn the stuff and I'll help them out. Um, I'll offer that service. And they'll still pay me, like they'll still pay me for that service. They will not mind that they are the ones that paid for me to learn how to do it. So it just depends on the kind of clients you're going to be working with, your niche and your target clients. That's what will inform the tools that you're going to be working with.
Okay. Okay, they are the ones that will inform you the tools they are going to be working with.
They are going to tell you the service. For instance, if they need an email marketer, they'll say, okay, I want to be sending my emails, I want to be doing XYZ. You will, if they already have a tool that they use that works well, fine. If they don't have a tool, you will not be at liberty to suggest. And of course, you want to suggest the one you already have experience with. So if you want to go into a particular field, that's why it's good that you learn at least how to use one tool in that field before you get a client. So you're
Oh,
the
I
one
guess.
that will, yes, you're the one that will suggest to some clients. Sometimes if they are using a tool that does not really work well, you can give them reasons why they should move from that tool to another tool that you feel will be better for their business. And you are the experts, so most clients will go with what you want. And how are you going to have this beforehand? When you're preparing for your discovery call, there's a step members of my community, they all know it. You have to have like a phase where you prepare for a discovery call. You collect questions from someone that wants to get on the call with you. I never go on a discovery call without knowing what to say. I must not be hearing about the person's business for the first time. Before I even get on a call with any client, I have done my research. I know where you work. I know what you posted. I know how many children you have. As long as that information is online, I will find it and I will have it. So when I come on that call, anything I say, you're just going to be nodding because I'm going to be hitting all those pain points, all those things that you're not doing right. I'm going to be pointing it out to you and be saying, yes, I've been looking for somebody that will help me do this. You know it exactly. That's how you get the sale. But if you go and you are not confident, in fact, when you prepare, you become more confident than someone that just goes there and is trying to put their thoughts together, like when they're already on the call. So if your client needs somebody that's going to provide a particular service, in your pre call questionnaire, you should ask, okay, what are the tools you use? If they tell you the tools, you go and do your research before you show up on that call. If they have an email list, you sign up before you show up on that call so that you can see even where to increase the amount of money that they are going to pay you. For instance, if I see that, okay, you're on social media, but you don't have a website, when I finish selling that social media to you, I'm going to talk about why it's important for you to have a website. And you're going to pay for that website sooner or later. Some of them agree to pay for it right on the call. So it's something that you have to get to know with time.
Okay, thank you so much, ma.
All right. So there's another question here. For someone that wants to become a customer service VA but does not have experience in using live chat, how can that person learn? Or what app does that person need? So for live chats, most times it comes with a website. So if, for instance, I have like websites, I have 2 websites. So I can decide to put a live chat function on my website. And then any person that is going to be on my team, I'll add them from the back end so that they can have that experience with being like a customer service personnel, but with live chat. You have to know that there are some services that you are going to offer for some brands, but that you are going to need training. One example is live chat. For instance, if I want you to come into my business and provide customer service and you're going to be handling live chats, I'm going to train you on how to respond to my customers, the kind of questions that they ask, because most times they already have AI, they already have bots that are answering basic frequently asked questions. But there are some questions that the bots will not be able to ask, and they will now redirect to an actual human for high traffic websites. So they are going to offer you training in that regard. But live chats like support is not something that is difficult. It's just basically answering questions, just that you will answer on social media. But for many differences, many business, but most times they are software within a website. So you have to have access to a website to be able to learn that. But it's something that if a particular brand is using this particular tool, they are going to give you training on that. As long as you know the basics, they are going to train you on the one that you don't know, because most people have this onboarding, they have onboarding materials. So if they already have SOPs that they use within their business, you just have to look at their documentation, their SOPs, and you will know what to do. But it's not something that will be a deal breaker if you don't know how to use a particular live chat feature. Just know generally how live chat works, which I've just said now is pretty basic. I hope I've answered your question. So does anybody have any question? Okay,
Good
so people
evening.
are raising their hands. Good evening.
Please, how do you manage so many clients at the same time, like those that are in different countries from you, and maybe you are working with them on the same or different tasks, like time difference, and what if one client wants to meet with you at a particular time that another client wants to meet with you? How do you navigate it?
Okay, so I don't just know how to do calendar management for clients. I also do it for myself. So if a client wants to get on a call with me, they have to book it into my calendar. Now, when they want to book into my calendar, they will see when I am available, and they can only book when I'm available. If not, they will not be able to book. So for you to be able to manage multiple clients, you are going to like I'll say it's a skill. You're going to have to rely on tech, prioritize prioritize the work that you do so that you will not just, like I mentioned, you will not allow some clients' projects to suffer while some people get all the time and all the attention. So if you have clients A, for instance, in the US, that's fine. Everything client A, and this is, you can write down everything client A needs. If you have a team that's working with you, fine. If you have too many clients, you need to get subcontractors. Subcontractors are also virtual assistants, but they are like working under you. They're not going to be earning as much as you earn. So you charge the clients and then you give them a percentage of what you charge so that you're able to take on more clients and do like and meet with your timelines and deadlines and everything. So if you have many clients, you're going to need to know how to manage your time well. You might need to be using project management tools like Asana. With Asana, you can assign tasks to your team members if you have them, or even to the clients. There's sometimes that I assign tasks to my clients. So now when I assign those tasks to my clients, it's not like I'm telling them, okay, come and do the work you are paying me to do. But there's sometimes that, for instance, if you want me to um, write an email for you and publish it for you, I might need you to review it before I set it up on your email marketing system. I will assign it to you. If you don't review it at like within the time frame, you are responsible for that project getting delayed. So everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, what is in progress, what is ongoing, what has not started yet, what is assigned to who, and who is going to be blamed when if something does not go out as planned. So you're going to need to know how to manage your time, how to prioritize your tasks. Then you cannot take on more than you can chew. So even if you get too many clients or too many requests to work with you as a virtual assistant, have a wait list. So that when you finish one client's project or if you stop working with a particular client, you can take on another client to replace or someone else that's in the wait list to replace. But you're going to need to use automation. I use automation within my own business. I automate emails, I automate posts to go out. I do it for clients too. So I rely a lot on automation. I use a scheduling system that works. If you want to book time with me and I'm not going to be available, if I know that it's my birthday or my children's birthday or I have a program in church, because I have other things outside my business. If I have all those, I block it out on my calendar. You cannot within that period, within that time frame. And I confirm timelines with my clients. I'm always very upfront. Okay, if you need me to do this in 3 days, if I know that I cannot get it done in 3 days, I will not say yes. If you ask me how long is it going to take you to get this done, if it's going to take me 2 days to get it done, I'll tell you to take me 3 days or 4 days, because this is Nigeria. Internet can be a pain. So I can have power issues or whatever. So I like to give a longer timeline so that whatever happens, I'll still meet up with the scheduled deadline. So to manage multiple clients, you just need to make use of technology, automate as much as you can, prioritize the projects that you have, hold clients accountable to timelines and to deadlines, hold them accountable. If they miss something that they're supposed to do, don't make another person suffer for it. Charge for rush jobs. Yes, charge for it. I charge for rush jobs. If you want me to give you something faster than how I'm normally supposed to give you, you should be able to pay me money that I can take my children out, because I'm not spending the time I was supposed to spend with them. I don't spend it, so I'll just make it up to them. Or maybe my husband has to just hold down the fort. I have to take everybody out for everybody just to feel good about it. So I charge for rush jobs. These are just a few tips. There are more, like there are a lot of things that you need to know how to do. Like I said, assign tasks, hold people accountable to timelines and deadlines and all that. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Um,
Okay, ma. I wanted to ask, like, when it comes to payment, how do you um how do you come about how much you are supposed to charge? Like what are the factors you're going to consider when charging your clients?
Okay. So when it comes to payments, I'm just going to talk about how to work out your base rate. You need to know your hourly rate. I do not recommend charging per hour. I do not recommend it because you are going to get penalized for being faster and more skilled. For instance, if you're a new virtual assistant, of course it's going to take you longer to do something compared to another person that has been doing it for a while and is faster, more efficient, and everything. So because it's going to take you longer, that person is going to earn more than somebody that is more skilled, that is faster, that is better. So that's one of the reasons why I do not recommend charging per hour. And if you eventually work with a Nigerian-based brand, nobody really wants to pay per hour in this country. They are going to nitpick and like try to figure out like why would you be charging this amount of money? People are looking for this job. They will say anything to get out of paying you hourly. But if you um if you charge like a lump sum, they can pay you that rate without knowing that that's what they are paying you. So that's why I recommend charging like the product and value based. For instance, if I should write a copy for a client, like I wrote a copy for a client that was selling a £2,000 mastermind, and this person is charging £2,000. I cannot charge the same price I would charge for somebody that is selling a 10K product because I have to put value based. If she gets one person that buys that pays for that mastermind, is much more than what somebody will get if the person is selling like something for 10K and gets one person. It does not really. So it has to be value based and it has to be project based, value based, project based, but know your hourly rates. I have an hourly rates calculator. I'm going to share the link with um, the TSS team, and then they'll share it with you. They'll share it with. I think you should have a group or something. They'll share it, and everybody can try out to see what the hourly rate is. But when you are coming up with your um, pricing, there are some things that you need to consider. You need to consider the kind of business that you are going to be working with. Is it a large company? They will have a large budget. Is it a small business that is just one person that is in their room trying to put things together? How much is that person earning? If the people you are targeting are earning 100K, you cannot charge 50K or charge 100K. Of course, they cannot afford you. So you have to be targeting people that are earning a higher amount of money, 500K, 1 million naira, or whatever, so that it makes sense to pay you that 100K that you are asking for. You have to look at other hidden expenses, and this one thing I talk about, I shared with my members in my community. Hidden expenses the virtual assistants will not even consider. Every payment gateway you use has a percentage that they collect. So if you are collecting your payments with Paystack, with Flutterwave, with Payoneer, etc., they are going to collect a percentage of the money. So if you charge $100, they are going to take their own processing fee from that $100, PayPal, etc. They will collect. So in the end, you are not going to receive $100 in your account. That's one thing that you have to consider. You also have to consider money for petrol, for data, just utility generally. Those are hidden expenses in your business. The software that you use in your business, if you use more automation, more tools to just fine tune your processes and everything, you are going to have to factor all these things in. And you have to consider it when you are coming up with your prices. I usually say for you to know what your base rate is, your base rate is the minimum amount of money you can charge for a service. You have to get your hourly rate multiplied by your the number of hours it's going to take you to complete that particular thing. Let's say it's going to take you 5 hours and your hourly rate is 1,000 naira. So 1,000 naira multiplied by 5 hours is 5,000 naira for that project minimum. So after you have gotten that base rate, that's when you now start adding other things like the company, the value of what I'm doing, and all that, and it might come up to 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 naira in the end. So pricing is not something that I'll just talk about and is going to make all the sense to you. I think I have about 10 to 14 lessons, because for me, I like to break things down so that you can jump to what you need. I can talk about, for instance, what to do when you find out that you underpriced a client. Let's say you met a client, you have given the client your rates, and you say, I'm going to charge $100 for this project. And then when the client pays you the $100, or you start the job, you realize, okay, I have underpriced. This is supposed to go for $200. What you should do. So I have like lessons for every single thing. There are about 10 to 14 lessons for just pricing. So it's not something that you can grasp
Sorry, but I didn't
every
get what you
single.
were saying earlier. It was cracking.
I've been talking a lot. So
No,
long
like
and short, let me just.
what when you said when you're underpaid, that was where I heard last.
Okay, I said when you realize that you have underpriced your service, it's your fault. You said pay me $100 and the clients paid $100, and when you start the project, you realize I was supposed to charge higher than this. What you should do. I'm just giving an example of a lesson that I have. So
Okay.
I have all these bite-sized lessons, based on questions that VAs have asked me, and then things I've also experienced in my business, because that's something that I did when I started. I priced the clients. I think I can't even remember the amount. I priced the clients a particular amount of money. The clients paid, and then when I started the job, I said I'm not going to do it again. Like I was basically eating into my money after data and um pay for like the software and everything that I needed to use. I basically had nothing to myself, and I was going to eat into my money to complete that project. So I was ready to just refund the money to the clients and not do it again. So there are ways to overcome all these things, and it's not something that, like, pricing on its own is not something that I can talk about and finish in 5 minutes or in even just one lesson. So it's something that is more detailed, but just know how to calculate your base rate, then add all the other factors like the size of the company, the value of what you are doing, etc.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So somebody's asking, is there a group for this? I don't know. I'm not in any group, but I believe there's a group for this. And if you registered for this training, they should have your details, so they should be able to reach out to you with any information about any group and all that. But we are way past our time. I really apologize for taking above 2 hours. Tomorrow we are going to try to stick to the time. I really appreciate everyone for staying up till now. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can just write them down and then you ask me tomorrow. You can ask about anything virtual assistant. It does not have to be only about what we talk about on a particular day. So thank you for staying till the end. You're welcome, everybody that's saying thank you in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much, Miss.
you're welcome.